You. Nah, thank you so much. Good morning, beautiful. Hi, Shy. Welcome to everybody coming into the room. Thank you, Shy. Again, I'm late. I can't help it. Lord help me. I didn't get to bed until 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I'm trying to get these extra hours at work, y'all. And I ain't gonna lie, it's whipping my tail. So if I'm coming late, it's because the girl is tired. But I love y'all so much. And I have to be here, okay? I have to be here. All right. So it's it's a very common relationship dynamic. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people are experiencing it and they don't realize that they're experiencing this. Anxious and avoidance coming together, forming a relationship. And there's a reason why. One partner chases closeness. One partner needs space. One partner, they one needs reassurance, and the other feels overwhelmed. Okay, you divorcing from one now. Okay, okay. Look, hey, 10 things. I'm sorry about that though. I know divorce is a loss, and I'm sorry to hear about that. 10 things. Welcome in. Thank you for the heart. Me. You was the anxious. Yeah. I'm an anxious attachment too. Nice to meet you. Okay. Look, we've been meeting each other. We've been vibing out in here. The anxious, the avoidance. You know what I mean? Like, and it's been great. We've been learning a lot from each other. Good morning, 10 things. Welcome, welcome. So, elevation is very important, I think. If you can stick around, you're going to learn some things. Okay? So, anxious and avoiding relationships. Is this chemistry or a trauma bond? So that's really the main question. Is it chemistry or is it trauma bonding? So let's get into it. Awesome. Awesome. He's great. He's great. I'm sorry, I'm having a worship moment. I got music on. Awesome. I appreciate you, Sachin. Thank you so much. Deliverer. Deliverer. All right quick. I know y'all like I ain't come here for this, but I gotta get my praise in right quick because I'm having a moment right now. Provider, 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 awesome, awesome. Come on, all right, y'all. All right. Protector, 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 awesome. I have a moment, y'all. I'm having a moment. My God is awesome.
How are you,
He
Mrs.
can
Keller?
move mountains. Hey, Raj. In the valley, hide me from the rain. My God is awesome. When I'm broken, since when I feel weak, and forever. And forever he will reign, okay? So let's go, let's go. All right. Woo, I had to get that out of my system. I'm gonna go back and listen to that, y'all. That's gonna be me all day. We were both neglected in childhood. Oh, you're welcome for the moment. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. I need to do that more often in my lives, by the way. So y'all might get a little bit more of that if you can handle it. But yay. All right, so here we go. Have anybody lived in a dynamic where they're anxious and avoidant? We had some people already identify saying, like Lisa B, welcome in. Inside Atlantic City. There's a lot of people who experience this. If you have lived in this dynamic, put yes or no in the chat. I want to see something. I want to see who we got in this room. Okay. So if you have lived in the anxious and avoidant type of relationship dynamic, yes or no? Anxious, avoidant, dismissive is my marriage. Okay. See, a lot of people. Yes, 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 yes. I see a lot of yeses. And me too. Me too. And I wound up marrying another anxious attachment. Ain't that interesting? And now I'm yeah, I kind of slid over into the avoidant, like, "Ooh, leave me alone." You know what I'm saying? But, he in there, so I got How is that? You said, how is that? It became so. You understand what I'm saying? He's anxious. I'm an anxious. His anxious is a lot stronger than mine. Let's put it like that. So yeah, I think over time I kind of slid into the avoiding, but we'll learn more about why those things happen further in the series as well. And I think we have like two more episodes about this because we want to get to the secure attachment, which is coming later on in the series. What's the AP? Oh, anxious what? What's the AP? I don't. You gotta spell it out for me. Spell it out. AP. I'm AP. He's anxious. What? Dismissive or? Oh, he's worse than you. Oh, isn't that interesting? Hey there, Dr. Patton. Oh, preoccupied. Okay. Preoccupied. That's actually after this one. We're going to talk about the preoccupied. Okay. Anxious, preoccupied. No, we talked about it yesterday. I'm sorry. My trauma bond is worse than. Okay. So look, we're finding out. We're trying to find out, is it chemistry between the anxious attachment and avoidant, or is it trauma bonded? Welcome in, Lisa. Thank you for joining the panel. Thank you for everybody that's grabbing your heart. Me, I've never heard of that one. He's avoiding. You never heard of which one, Dr. Patton? Keep tapping up the live. Let's get it to 10K in here, you guys. Let's get it to 10K. Let's get it to 10K. Thank you. Chemistry for us. Okay, chemistry for y'all, Jen. So it was chemistry for y'all. You sure? His anxiety is malicious anxiety. We live and we learn. Yeah, we live and we learn. And that's why we learn in a day. So thank you, Shy, for joining the panel. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for joining the panel. Thank you for the tappers in the room. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. We are going to get it up to 10K. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right. Kat, welcome in the room. Thank you. Thank you for the heart me. One burner. Wagwan. Big up. See, I'm getting it. Rude gal. I'm getting it. Kat, thank you so much. Welcome in. Thank you for the heart me. Chemistry experiments blow up the bond. Well, we ain't blowing nothing up. We love TikTok shop. But yeah, chemistry experiments. All right. There are four types of attachments. Yes, there are four types of attachments. Yeah, let's talk about that right quick while y'all getting me up to 10K. I appreciate it. Welcome in. A, they, them. Listen, one of them is secure attachment. One of them is the anxious attachment. Another one is the dismissive attachment, dismissive avoidant. I'm sorry. And then we have the fearful avoidant. So those are the four. And a lot of people didn't know that there were four, but there are four different type of attachments. Okay. Fearful avoidant, secure avoidant. Yep. Gotcha. Y'all using acronyms. I had to learn to listen. He had to learn to talk. Okay. All right. And it's so nice meeting everyone that's coming in the room. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for being here, thinking enough of me to be here. If you are from the FYP and this topic has grabbed your attention, it grabbed your attention for a reason. So stay here and learn more. Self discipline, self control, accountability, responsibility, and knowledge. Divine destiny. Hey, Derek, welcome in the room. Good to see you, Derek. Derek, we're to the good part today. We're to the good part. Attachment styles. Why does anxious and avoidant people almost always find each other? And Derek, yes, we're to the juicy, the meaty part. Because this is something that Derek always said is that they seem to always find each other, and there's a reason why. As you said before, Derek, is exactly what you said it was. So, anxious and avoidant partners often feel intense chemistry because they activate each other's attachment wounds. This type of relationship can only work if the dismissive changes. Ooh, stay later for the later on, because we're gonna get to that part too about who changes first. But we're not gonna talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. Let's get to this part. Let's get through this. So the reason why they often feel intense chemistry, because they activate each other's wounds, is because the anxious seeks closeness. 10K, thank you so much. Yay, 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 yay. Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, my guys. And listen, if you want to come up to the panel and you want to have a conversation about this topic here, feel free to come up and we could talk about it, but we are going to stay on course, okay? Because I know everybody has to go to work. Give me 1 second. I know everybody has to go to work. And so I'm going to try to make this as easy, as peasy as possible. Okay. And oh, yeah. Thank God it's Friday. Happy Friday. We made it another week, y'all. We made it another week. That's awesome. So, and I will stop by you guys live later on. But that's just me showing my appreciation. If y'all see the chat spamming because I'm just gifting the panel, that's my appreciation to the panel for joining us. Thank you so much. All right. I got paid like Johnny Kemp. Hey, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't say it's like payment, it's just appreciation. It's a thank you gift. Why do they? Why do they what? Oh, the prompt, blind Libra. Yeah, I be getting a little thrown off sometimes. Excuse me though. All right, so we got 27 people in the room, 10 likes. Y'all did awesome. Thank you so much. Yay. Okay. Back to what we was talking about. So, anxious and avoidant partners often feel intense chemistry because they activate each other's attachment wounds. The anxious usually seeks closeness. The avoidant seeks space. Each triggers the other's core fear. So one fears abandonment, and the other one fears losing their independence. Okay. Um. So since I done gave y'all a little rundown, right? Let's get to the panel of their thoughts, and feel free to comment. All right, y'all can jump in this too. We're going to include you all too. Okay. So I asked everybody if they experienced this. I know Shy has, Dr. Patton has. Right quick, can y'all just give a rundown, a short storytelling of what side you were on? Shy, can you share with us which side you were on?
So for me, I'm a recovering fearful avoidant. So I was anxious and I was with a dismissive partner. So that was the
Okay.
dynamic for me.
Okay. Thank you. I'm not laughing at you, Shy. I'm laughing at Dr. Patton. He said put a timer on him. Dr. Patton, we're gonna keep it short. Just you see what Shy did. She kept it real short. Okay. She was the anxious. He was the dismissive. Okay. Dr. Andrew Patton.
Okay, so I think I was more of the anxious and she was a dismissive as well. And I'll leave it there because I have my theory that I want to share, but
Thank you,
I'll let it keep
Sean.
I'll let it keep flowing. I'll let it keep flowing.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much. Lisa B, welcome in.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I would say definitely I'm the anxious, and he was the avoidant. Probably more of the dismissive.
Okay. All right. Hold on. And I'm missing my avoidant in here because we love. Did I spell his name wrong? All right. For some reason I can't get him in here. Okay, so everybody on the panel seems to have been on the anxious side so far. In in the chat, which side were you on? I told you I can get in this too. I want to know who's in the room and who I'm talking to because this will definitely help the conversation flow. There won't be many avoidance participants. That's not true. We had a avoidant. We had a couple of them in here that actually been sitting around the entire series. I'm a fearful avoidant. My partner is anxious. Okay. A them. A see, I told you. They and them. Welcome in. Welcome in, Trina. Thank you to everybody coming in here. The 37 people in the room. Shouts out to you. Shouts out to you. I'm anxious, married to avoidant dismissive. Okay. So there's a lot of anxious in here. Okay, so let me go. I'm anxious and I've always came across avoidance. And my husband, he's anxious and I'm anxious. So now I'm the avoidant. Well, not really. I ain't the avoidant because I can't go nowhere. He won't let me go nowhere. He just won't let me go nowhere. My Lord. In my mind, I'm like, ooh, ooh, oh. I be running, y'all. I love my husband though. You don't want to go nowhere. Anywho, Derek, welcome to the panel. So we
Hey,
have a lot
hey,
of anxious in here, and one avoidance so far I've seen. Hey,
hey. So the definitions, right, that we've been doing all week of when you say now you're the avoidant. I don't think you're avoidant attachment style. I think you're just avoiding. You get it?
oh, okay,
It's
okay. So
like
you correct
I
me.
was
Okay,
anxious attachment from childhood, and I just changed to avoidant. I think you just run from stuff that don't feel good. It's a difference.
okay, all right.
Uh huh. Uh huh.
Look, that makes sense. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for helping me. Look, we holding each other accountable in here.
So
You
let
schooled
me
me on
just
something. Okay.
yeah, let me say this about the whole the prompt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So just what you were, I think you were reading about why they almost always find each other. But then the other thing is that when those things get activated, when you meet these people, especially in the beginning stages, it almost feels like
Heaven.
a nuclear explosion of chemistry. It
Ooh.
feels amazing, even though it
Yes.
shouldn't work by definition, but it's like we're drawn to each other and it feels amazing until you start to see those traits play out over time. And then you're like, wait a minute, why they keep going to the other room? Why they keep doing, they don't, do they like me? And now
Mm-hmm.
you start going through all of that. But in the beginning, you found something, you anxious, you found something to chase.
Mm.
Avoided, found something to run from. I know this one
Mm.
gonna active subconsciously, of course. I know that this person is probably going to activate me running because they loving on me too much. And the
Mm-hmm.
anxious is like, why they running? So I got to change it. It feels exciting. You feel like you. And I say this, like I'm married to an avoidant, and I'm anxious. And even though it pisses you off, it's like you feel like you got to be there. You feel
Mm-hmm.
like you can't leave. It's weird the way it works, but I'm sure there's some science behind it.
Yeah, it is. And it's a lot going on up here, obviously, for both, for each party, right? And listen, the people that is down waiting backstage that want to come up here, if you grab your daily heart me, as you seen the rest of the people on the panel do, And they came right up. I didn't let them up. They just came right up. So grab a dating heart me if you want to join the panel. Okay. All right. Thank you, Derek. I love how you said it was amazing. It felt like heaven. It just felt so good. And it's just like, oh my God, I found my person. Did you really?
Well, but
But mhm,
something though, to his point, and I'm in a similar situation to Derek, except um my dismissive avoidant discarded me. See,
mm,
the thing is the chemistry thing and the fleeting feeling of a new beginning and finding like-mindedness or shared values, that's one thing.
mhm,
But outside of all of that, that we never talk about with attachment styles, is commitment.
mhm,
And so when you're committed to a person and you understand the commitment, like when we're anxiously attached, married to someone that's a dismissive avoidant or fearful avoidant, and I think those kind of things really intertwine, and why they attract is because that avoidant can sell you on all the pain they've been through,
mhm,
right? And then
mhm.
what will happen is you will commit and even double down in that attachment because you think it's your duty to prove to them that you're not like what they are used to.
Come on. Yep. That's exactly what it is. Well, at least for
And
me, it
there's
was.
typically, I bet you, if you did a poll, people would probably follow what I'm saying or agree with what I'm saying. So
Who
the
agrees with what
anxious
he's
attack,
saying? I'm sorry. I had
yeah,
to ask
yeah,
them.
yep. Somebody just put in the chat. That's it. I had an epiphany about this time last year. Somebody just put it in the chat.
Yep.
We
Agree,
think
agree,
we're
agree. Mm
we think we're their savior, and we're not.
hmm. Mm
And
hmm.
so
Mm hmm.
we commit to something that we can't do. There's only one savior. I don't know if you're a believer or not, but there's only one savior, and he coming back one day. He ain't showed up yet, but he on his way back. And
Mm
so when we try to have a God complex to a person that don't know how to lean on God for themselves, and maybe they may be believers, but there's still a place that they've shut God out. They make us responsible for all of the stuff of protecting them from all the things they've been through that preceded us. And watch this. I'm quiet after this, I promise. And I won't talk too much because I want the conversation to flow. But when they do decide to dismiss us or discard us, then they're looking for something to ignite them feeling alive because they die inside and they reject.
Unalived. Mm
Yeah, they unalive the relationship. That's, I mean, I hate this whole stuff. Whatever. Nobody trying to
hmm.
talk
Yeah,
about that. But
yeah.
anyway,
Nobody talk like that in real life. I
yeah,
got you.
but from that perspective, that's where we chase. And because we're
Mm
trying to attach again, because they'll pull the attachment in the closing, shared purpose is what holds it together. That's the people that those attachment styles that still work, they're not floating
Thank you,
on
John. Mm
feelings anymore. Their feelings is there. Now they are committed to each other. Even the avoiding, when they decide to be committed, they're committed, but it's a lot more flimsier. It's membrane thin. In other
hmm.
words, the wind can blow. It's like a Jenga or Yahtzee or whatever that crazy game is. If the right wind comes through, that commitment will go away. And that's where
Yep.
when Derek was saying they end up in the other room. I've been through that. They find little ways to be detaching, and you don't even know they're detaching because they're not saying that. They give you certain little languages and words that they're detaching. So it's complicated, but you're not really attaching because of these two styles bonding and liking each other in that attachment space. You're really bonding because of the shared interests and values, and
Thank you,
then
Sin.
that dopamine of, oh, we got things in common. But the truth is you're attaching different, you're committing different. Your
Mm
commitment, if you are an anxious attachment person with any type of avoidant, your commitment is automatically stronger than theirs. And you don't find that out until you get in.
hmm. Oh,
you
you might.
you're you're super committed. So that's what I see. But anyway.
All right. All right. You speaking nothing but facts. and you have a lot of people that's agreeing with what you're saying. And I guess you could say the epiphany that you received from this whole dynamic is spot on. It's spot on because I can relate. I'm sure. Thank you for the heart, me glow getter. Um, I think a lot of us can relate with what you said. All right, so and I do want to. We're going to try to follow the order of this because it's set in a specific order for a reason. Okay, so. And I'm saying that y'all touching on everything that is spoken in right here. Okay, so why this pair feels like chemistry. Derek already said it. This dynamic feels so intense at the beginning because there's a mystery and a pursuit, emotional highs and lows of roller coaster, dopamine for inconsistency, and the thrill of winning someone over. These are all key points that were already identified. Y'all go. Y'all better. I see
We look.
they been
We
doing.
was
They
look.
do their homework.
We was looking at your notes. That's why.
You looking at my notes? Get out of here. Y'all have done your homework. So, and I think when you become aware of what is what, and it pulls you just like anything. When you want to know something, you go do your research. You go do your homework on it, and that's what these gentlemen done. Right, right, Sean? They did their homework, girl.
They
Um,
did. They absolutely did. But I wanted to say too, like all that inconsistency and stuff that you're experiencing in your relationships is mirroring the inconsistency that you experienced in your childhood. And that's why it's that familiarity that you're seeking. And that's the comfort that you're kind of
thank you
feeling
for the
in those relationships. You know, you're feeling that comfort that you had in your childhood, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to put out there a disclaimer, Shy. She is a licensed therapist. This is along the lines of your field. What's your field again? Therapist, and is it behavioral health or mental health?
Mental health and behavioral health, but family therapy
Okay,
specifically.
okay. All right. So
Can I
she
ask her
she
one? Can I
go
ask her
ahead.
one question? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
I want to ask you this because since you're the professional here, so could it be that though the environment, whether it was secure or chaotic, could it be that those that are avoidant, is it the chaos that they're trying to recreate from what they experienced in childhood? Is that it? Because chaos feels normal to those types of
Yes.
people that create
Yes.
they have to. Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Absolutely. So it is, but it's
Thank you,
subconscious.
Issa.
So it's not like anybody's out here trying to do this. I don't think anyone's doing this maliciously, right? I think that it's a subconscious thing, and we're just operating, in the subconscious, going out there seeking things that feel good and feel familiar. So it is about that dopamine, and it's how do we get it? And that's what feels good for that person. So it's not like a malicious thing, it's just what feels good. And sometimes I tell people it seems as though you're feeling comfort in chaos. Like I'll just be overt with it.
Okay. All right. So thank you. And we're going to so I do have one quick question. Well, actually two. Is this love or emotional roller coaster? And I know the question sounds weird, right? But I personally believe that you can love somebody, but also be on that emotional roller coaster.
Well, if
Mm.
Vivian Green was here, she'd say yes.
What's that?
But
Love or the roller coaster? Which one? Roller
yeah,
coaster.
the roller coaster. And but see, but another group in the '70s. I'm sure. Well, I'm not. I wasn't. I was just born in the '70s, but I appreciate funk music because as a musician growing up in church, that was my inspiration. I can't remember the band's name, but they had a song called "Roller Coaster of Love."
Mm-hmm.
So, in other words, it's a roller coaster, but love can be attached to it. And what do I mean by that? Because outside of the feelings, right? When I was here the day before yesterday, and I'm sorry I didn't make it back yesterday, I got caught up in my business stuff.
I
but
see.
literally, love from an emotional standpoint is where we go wrong. Love from an actionable item, tangible item is what love actually is. And particularly when you are the person that's the strong, or at least the more secured attached, even as as a what you call it, anxious avoidant. I'm sorry, as a what you call it, the anxious
What, the
attachment style.
fearful?
Yes.
The
No, no,
fearful?
yeah,
Oh,
right.
the anxious.
Even if
Oh,
even if you're anxious, but you're still more anxiously attached. Help me out, therapist. Am I right, Lady Lisa? Am I right? If you're secure, you're more secure as an anxious attachment than a avoidant.
No.
Okay, so
So
it's
you're only secure if you're a securely attached person.
okay,
Um,
okay, okay, okay. So
yeah.
I just want to make sure I was explaining it right, because this actually is helping me, because this entire time I thought that I was secure, but if I'm anxious, then I'm really not secure myself. I'm just more committed. Sounds like, right? Is that it?
No, that's not true either. And I think it's hard because I think sometimes we get a little bit biased, considering like what our attachment is. We think, oh, well, that person's just terrible because they did all these things to me. And we take it a little bit more personally. But on the other side, we have to kind of consider how they feel about how we've been toward them. Like a lot of times, as an anxious person in the relationship, we show up as intrusive to them. You know, like they need their independence, they need their space, and we're being very intrusive. We need answers. We need that time, you know, and we're very intrusive in that way. So I think we got to look at the balance here. Neither one is healthy, and it's a trauma bond. So it's recognizing that and being able to say, hey, neither of these is good. How do we become secure?
Okay, so
all
that's
right.
that. I'm glad you helped me with this. I'll finish my point that I was making then. So love is how you show up. It's patient, it's kind, right? It don't keep record. And most times in what she just explained, as an anxious, you're keeping record. You're not always patient.
Ooh,
You're not always kind.
I feel
Now you
convicted.
and so hey, I'm with you. I'm right there with you. I can say it sometimes as a preacher, I gotta say it and be cut too at the same time.
Oh,
And so having her explain it in that fashion helps
thank
me
you,
to
Dr. Trina.
understand that all this time, this whole year and some change, I've been thinking that she had the greater brunt of this. I'm just as guilty because I wasn't. I thought I was securely attached because it seemed like I was more committed, or I was trying harder. So,
Mm.
but anyway, that's the sidebar. But love is not a feeling, and so when it's your feelings and love, when they are in line, it feels good. But once you get over the high, like David talked about, and that explosion of, oh, I found my person, and then the relationship starts to settle, then the attachment styles start to really bang against the concept of what love actually is. And the avoidant, especially when they're fearful, they're running, you're anxious, you're chasing them. And love may still be in the picture, but it's not being practiced in a way, to her point, that's not healthy. So
All right.
Can the church
Oh my
say
goodness.
amen, y'all?
And
Can
the
we say
church
amen?
say amen. Look,
I
look,
Amen.
love I
look.
love this
Amen. That was
because
beautiful.
because on your show the other day I was like, right here on your show, I just had an epiphany about something. You remember, I was like, I just realized I came from two avoidant parents, and I was like, I just figured
Mm-hmm.
this out talking through. It's amazing how we get like when we actually and Shy will appreciate this when you actually start to dialogue about what's going on. You start to realize some things that you probably would have never even thought about just by kind of just talking it through. But I did want to say with what you said about what was it about the what is it, love or emotional
Is
roller
it,
coaster?
yeah? Is it love
So
or emotional roller coaster? Yeah.
right, and so it really begs that to say that a lot of us perceive even what love is differently. So we could put it in a box, but a lot of this attachment stuff and the childhood stuff, wounds, trauma, whatever you want to call it, right? Whatever that thing is that gravitates us towards familiarity, to Shai's point, we will be drawn to them because of that and call it love, right? Because of how it feels. But it's really you just really almost chasing after something that feels familiar, even if it's dysfunctional. It will feel familiar, and you will say, because it feels familiar, it equals love. And then you
So
will pursue. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So then you will pursue and hang on to this person under the banner of love when you're really just trying not to be feel abandoned. If that makes sense. And I'll
It
land.
make okay, and it makes a lot of sense because I was just about to say now that Dr. Patton then laid it out, Shy done laid it out, and you actually done top put the cherry on top. Now I'm thinking about I changed my answer. It is the emotional roller coaster because it was just as you said, waving a banner of love over top of because we feel like we're giving love, but if we're keeping record of how a person is doing this and doing that, if we are not being patient with them and we're not being kind and we get frustrated to the point that we like, you know what, I'm out, and not really getting to the root cause, the core of it all, and being a little bit more understanding, that's not love.
Well, let's do this though. Now he's absolutely right, but
Yeah.
we have to expand the conversation about the other part because I mean, First Corinthians 13 is where we always go to really highlight, love being patient, kind, not keeping record, bearing all things, hoping all things, and that's true. But on the other side, there's a term in Scripture that says walking in love versus
Right.
falling in love or feeling in love. See, that's the problem because once you get back to that place of trying to feel something, right? The feelings
Mm,
get confusing because, again, to your point, it's a roller coaster, right? And when you go on a
right.
roller coaster, especially because I would liken it to this: if you've ever been on a big roller coaster, and I hate roller coasters, by the way, it's been years since I've been on one. But when you first get on the roller coaster, and they strapping you in, right? And they tell you in the instructions, keep your hands in. You're still on the roller coaster. That's kind of the start of a relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's done anything wrong. They still pretty. He's still handsome. He paying for
And,
all the bills. He ain't cussed you out yet. You ain't cussed him out yet. And then the ride starts, right?
and the wig
When the
fall
ride
off and the eyelashes come loose and
right before you smell morning breath and see that see that shaper held all that stuff together and she don't look as fine naked, but we ain't gonna do that. We
okay,
gonna
don't
keep it
don't
holy.
we ain't doing that. Keep it holy, okay? You
We
don't
gonna
want them
keep it
coming for
holy.
you about us and
But
our snatch waist and stuff.
hey, look, we don't leave the room. We stay. It's okay. I know I do. Keep it real. Like Cat Williams said, we doing it either way. We doing it either way. But uh, but but when you start to go up the hill, it's a slow. You feel confident, right? And
Right.
then by the time you get to that peak and you go boom, and that thing go down, and it's 70 miles an hour, you throw up all your corn dogs and snacks. So walking in love
Right.
is not necessarily like that, but it can be because sometimes in
It's
the
so
roller
it's like
coaster, I
that.
believe it's a journey. When you walking in love, you just got to figure out a way not to jump off the ride or off the path. And walking in love is not based on your feelings; it's based on what Derek just said, your perception and your concept
Right.
of what love is. And you can't help your childhood because you couldn't control that. You couldn't control what you saw as a child. And by the time we get into these relationships, and this type of psychology is now just starting to be revealed to the world. And help me, Dr. Shea. These studies have been going on for the last 50 years of who invented these terminologies, but these things have been going on for quite some time, probably since the beginning of time. We just now finally have some language for it. And so, to land my plane, when we walk in love, and depend less on feelings. And watch this, for us that are anxious, we get rid of the saviors complex, right? And even the avoidance expecting us to be their saviors because they put it all on us to protect them from experiencing what they've experienced in the past. And to a certain degree, we're asking the same thing because that's why we're anxious because we've been through stuff too. So walking in love or walking and balancing the act of all the emotions and being able to talk about because the people that are in these attachment styles that are not so healthy that still make it to the point of David making it, I think that the ones that still make it are walking in some type of degree of love. It may be a little tainted because of the attachment styles ain't healthy, but at least they still got it. And as I said earlier, as I land my plane, for those that end up in the situation that I'm in, you get discarded or the relationship ends for whatever reason because of the avoidant. It ended because the relationship wasn't secure or it didn't take very much to blow the house down. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's the part that I really want to highlight, in particular with the walking in love versus what love actually is, and then how you apply it. And it's difficult, as I think as Amos 3:1 says, how can two walk unless they agree? So if there is no agreement from a standpoint of the commitment, and if there is no disclosure, honest disclosure of the things that has hurt us, and to the professional in the room, if we don't go get the help to do the therapy to get from anxious and avoidant to now really secure for the right reasons, then guess what you're going to be walking in? You're not going to be walking in love. You're going to be walking in chaos. And to David's point, chaos is going to feel like love, and it's probably not. It is, but it ain't. And
Mm-hmm.
it's real. It's real tricky. But I'm closing my mic.
Thank you, Dr. Patton. Look, listen, I wanted to point out a comment that I was looking at from Elevation, I think apparel says commitment is a form of love. Do anybody believe commitment is a form of love? Uh,
Absolutely. Yeah,
you think it is?
I do. I think,
Because I can commit to things, but that don't mean I love it. I commit to it because I feel I'm obligated to do it.
That's
I
because you
So,
think,
define it through feeling. You still define it through feeling. When you take the feelings out of it, and like let's use Jesus as an example. When he
hmm,
still decides to go to the cross and he don't want to do it, but he does it anyway. That's love. That's when it's really love. Not when you get in the
okay, now
flowers,
that
not
you
when
put
you
it
get
like that,
yes. But I mean, but it's easy to see it that way because why? It don't feel good. If we only equated to how it feels when it feels good in the moment versus what I do. Or like courage is doing it in the face of being scared. I
mm,
don't care about you being scared. You're only a punk if you allow the fear to stop you from being courageous, if that makes sense.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Now
now,
that y'all
not
put
with
it
my
like
job. Not with my job, though. You know what I mean? Like
that.
commitment as far as that goes. No, but with my, like, with my, yeah, with my profession, yes, I love my job. But I'm just saying, like, as far as committed to, like, working for someone else, nah, that's not
Okay.
love.
So you love it. Yeah.
That's not love.
Because I was a little confused. I'm like, wait, I commit to a lot of things and I don't love it. But I do it because I'm committed to it because I said I'm going to do it. So that's why I was a
Hey,
Yeah.
little.
Shay, do you accept insurance? I want you to be my therapist.
I'm telling you.
I
And
can't right now.
we
I
be
can't
having
wait until I do. When I do, I'll let you know.
Please do.
we
Please do.
we be having some good people on the panel, some great people actually, you guys. And if you have not joined, um, if you have not joined my my fans group right here, please tap up here. It'll say follow the creator, grab your daily heart me, and you will then join my group and you can be notified whenever we go live. We have discussions, not quite pinpointing topics like this all the time. This is kind of special right here. But we do have relational, social conversations about how we can come together as men and women, right? Make love, not war. So, and Also, can't forget about babies. Our babies are important to us. So if we're not good, our kids are not good, right? So in order for our children to be good, we have to work on our inner self. And sometimes working on our inner self and the people we surround ourselves with can influence how we interact with our children or how we behave around our children. Okay, so let's go. Let's keep going. Um, Thank you so much for the daily heart me's and the follows. I appreciate you all. All right. And don't forget, tap, 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 tap. If you can, tap up the screen, tap me up to push this, keep pushing to the FYP. All right. So next, the chase in the distance cycle. We talked about this chase, this push and this pull scenario in in this type of dynamic. Why does the anxious partner chase and the avoidant partner pull away? Is a question that everybody has a time or two. So again, the cycle breakdown is anxious seeks closeness, avoidance feels the pressure. This is the cycle, okay? Anxious seeks closeness, avoidant feels the pressure of that. Avoidant withdraws, and the anxious panics. And then the cycle repeats all over again. That's why there's a chase. That's why they call it a chase. It's like cat and mouse game in a sense. The more one chases, the more the other distance themselves. So for all the anxious people out there, the more you chase them, the more you pressure them, the faster they're gonna
Absolutely.
run. So we have to figure out who should change first. So somebody I saw earlier in the comments said that's why it's important that the dismissive changes first.
See, for me, we both had to change
Hmm.
almost simultaneously because that push and pull was on a hamster wheel. It was happening all the time, and I didn't necessarily recognize what it was until I became more aware of myself,
Hmm.
and vice versa, right? So so we both had to kind of learn simultaneously that we were both hurting each other, even though it felt personal to each of us. We were hurting each other, and there was no growth. It was almost kind of like things were going backwards because
Hmm.
without the knowledge of it, I just held it in. And you hold stuff in, you start to resent the person because you think it's personal. To Shai's point, most of the time it's not personal, it's just a reaction. It's how someone would react to being triggered, and they go into their trauma response. But we think that trauma response is personal to us, the person, and they're just trying to feel safe in their own way. The anxious chasing is just trying to feel safe. If I can chase you and make it better, then I then calm down. If they walk away, they feel better, they can calm down. But our
Hmm.
perception is different, so we take it personal, and then we feel slighted by the person and we get angry, and then our anger or whatever our reaction is then triggers them again. The chasing re-triggers them from the original trigger, so now they're looking at you like, I'm about to chop you in your neck now. Like, why do you keep chasing me? And I told you I need to leave. Like, trust me, we both, she had to learn how it affected me, and I had to learn how it affected her. And then we both had to honor that knowledge so that she knew that even though she had to leave, instead of taking an hour, she would take 30 minutes. So we met in the middle. And what happened is when we met in the middle and all of my shaking and panicking about her leaving to the other room, once I calmed down a little bit, I realized that the time she needed got less because I
Mm.
wasn't always chasing her. So it was a
Hmm.
learning point, but it took years to get there. So I land.
All right. So I hope y'all grabbed what he said. I mean, that was some gems dropped and how it worked for him in his relationship. And a lot of times, some people out here, y'all might say, well, that worked for him. That's his relationship. But listen, we don't know what's going to work until we try to work it, right? So before you go into that, well, that was his relationship, try it. Try it. That's it. And see if it can work for you too. Okay?
But can I say
This is
can I
how we
say
learn
this to
from
his
each other. Yes.
can I say this to his point though? And he's
Mm-hmm.
absolutely right. I tried that and I got burned by that. And I and, and I
Mm.
and I say that respectfully because it was still the right thing to do. right? It was the right thing to
Okay.
do
Right.
because one of the things I've learned over this year and some change is that you can never hold on to somebody that don't want to be there for whatever reason. If it's a scenario that it's a temporary, let me just cool off, or if it's, hey, I want to leave the relationship. And when you're anxious, you're trying to find that attachment because now that's become a part of your world. And as I stated the day before yesterday, when a person is discarded or if it's just a breakup, it is a hit to your nervous system that is equivalent to like a car accident. And so what
Mm-hmm.
happens is that your nervous system and your mind, when that attachment is severed, without even if it's done in a way that seems like okay, this person just didn't run off in the night and cheat and do what's in the third. If they sat you down and told you what they wanted to do and then they did it, it's still going to hurt the same. I think
Mm-hmm.
that it's like a with a car accident. It's like you can total the car and it not be able to be fixed, or you can tear up the car really bad, but the insurance company can still fix it. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you don't know where you at in that area until the damage is assessed. And for some of us, in particular, some of us that get discarded and that relationship never comes back together, then it means that the relationship got totaled out. And then it's up to you to rebuild yourself and your self esteem and get counseling and all those kind of things, right? But I say
Mm-hmm.
this in land the plane. What's important to know is that with some of these avoidant attachment styles in particular, they will, if you let them, they will play games with you because they know you still love them.
Mm.
They will act like they want to kind of rekindle things, or they'll put their toe in the water and then pull it back out. That's the part that I'm going through now, and I'm learning that I have to draw the line in the sand for myself and not try to prove anything because to his point, that's why they ran off in the first place because it felt too hot. And when I'm not chasing and I'm drawing the boundaries of saying I'll do this because our kids are involved, and I know that she's leveraging the kids to kind of see where I'm at. But then when she
Mm-hmm.
go too far with some stuff that has nothing to do with the kids, that's why I've learned to say, no, I'm not gonna let you jerk my chain. So with that being said, anxious people have to make sure that they learn how to get securely attached to themselves, to
Mm-hmm.
ourselves, because the saying goes in the scripture, loving your neighbor as yourself. When you invest too much love in somebody else and you don't love yourself, then guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna chase somebody that is not loving you at the time, and that means that you're not loving yourself. But when you start to say, no, that's wrong and it's disrespectful, I'm not going to let you do that. I'm going to separate the stuff that's necessary from the stuff that's unnecessary. Then that avoidant will look at you a little bit different and they'll begin to get curious. Are they really losing you altogether, especially if they're still battling with what it is that they want? Because to the counselor's point, the chaos is really what they're recreating. And the chaos that they're recreating don't mean that they don't love you. They just feel better in their natural habitat of chaos, like at the zoo. When you go to the zoo, that's why they create the closest natural habitat to the animals that's on display. Because if they don't create their natural habitat, it'll be even more chaos. So the same thing
Mm-hmm.
goes with these dismissive avoidance and whatever, and even us. We're looking
Mm-hmm.
for our natural habitat by, and I've made these mistakes trying to attach to other so-called relationships and situationships, and you're still not fulfilled because it's still not your natural habitat. So
Yeah.
it's a real space that when you get discarded and you are anxious, you love that person, but you're now just not starting to realize that if I don't love myself, which includes not bringing other people into the scenario for comfort's sake or just because I'm bored, because then guess what? I'm no better than that person that's creating their own chaos in their own world too.
So let me ask this: who should actually change first in the dynamic?
You got to change yourself
So I've
because
seen some people say both, but I like that answer. I like
here's
that
why you got to
answer.
change. Here's why you got to change yourself. Because in order for you to change yourself and love yourself, then when that person come back and they got the same patterns and they ain't worked on themselves, then
Right.
your self love will say, you know what? As much as I still care and as much as I love you, I cannot accept you back the way that you came the first time because this is going to happen again. That's where patterns come in, right? Because your
Mm-hmm.
pattern is chaos. And once chaos runs you ragged and you need a safe place to land and get yourself back to feeling like yourself or feeling good, and then those wounds are going to continue to come back up. And then when my attachment style and my love language demands that you walk in love with me in this regard, then your capacity has not been expanded because you still got the same depth that you had the first time I met you. So
Mm-hmm.
if I work on myself, they don't work on themselves, and then you come back here with the same depth. But I've worked on myself. I got even deeper wells than I had the first time. So now I can tell you to kick rocks respectfully because I'm not going to allow you to hurt me ever again. And I'm going to be in a position that I don't hurt myself because self love is more important than this love that I was asking you to give me that you didn't have the capacity to give me in the first place.
All right. Thank you so much. I mean, I listen, y'all dropping gems and you've been dropping gems this whole conversation. On both sides. I'm talking about carnally and spiritually. But I do have another question. One second. So, for the panel, should anxious partners give space and should avoidance give reassurance? Because I know that y'all saying change, right? I know the question may sound the same, changing. Like, and for instance, and I guess that's what that could mean, but yeah, we do the inner work. But although it may be hard, because I just believe like as an anxious attachment, um, we doing the inner work, it can still take some time. It can still take some time. So should an anxious person just give the space, although it hurts so bad? I guess that's what I'm saying.
So, yes, I think, as Derek pointed out, it's good to be able to give the space, but to also have boundaries. So I can give you space, but I need a time frame. I need a time limit with that. And then also, what was the other side of the question?
Should avoidance give reassurance?
And yes, avoidance should give reassurance, but again, with boundaries. So it shouldn't be something like, I'm at work and you're expecting me to text you 57 times a day. Like maybe I'll send you a text at lunchtime or something like that. But, don't expect to have 24/7 access. So it's just about balance, boundaries, and communication. And that's why Derek is
Communication.
able to have a successful relationship, even with the push and pull dynamic of, you know,
See you
there. And
later.
I would argue that you guys have moved to more of a secure place, it sounds like, because you've been able to have that communication. And it's beautiful that you've been able to also go back and look generationally. Okay, I came from two avoidance and that made me anxious. And so like when we identify things like that, then we're able to take that and change the trajectory of our future generations dynamics, right? Like looking to our children, how can I make my children secure now? And I think
Right.
that's like the next important thing, especially when you're dealing with like divorce and things like that. Like my kids are coming up in
Right.
a home from like divorce. So I have to look at how can I offer them security even though they're in a broken home. So looking at that and then coming from a fearful avoidant mom and a dismissive avoidant dad.
Right. That's so good. That's so good. Y'all giving some meat here. And I love the fact that you brought up the children, how to make the children more secure attachment style, have a more secure attachment style. Um, we are much closer to secure. Our daughter is secure. Okay. All right, Jen. Yeah, and honestly, once you reach that secure, that secure attachment style, it would definitely you would know how to help your children get there too. Um, because a lot of these attachment styles are developed in our younger years. That's why, you know, those that time frame is critical, is crucial. So don't let, oh, my kid don't know nothing. They just kids. Let them be kids. No, you are raising them up. You are building them. You are grooming them. You're growing them up. So it's very important.
And
All
do
right,
you
let's go,
know who
Lisa.
really? Do you know who drives to the point about the kids? Do you know who drives the secure, or at least the attachment styles
Lisa,
the most?
yes.
The fathers do.
Mm, okay,
Uh huh.
now.
And the truth of the matter is, to the therapist's point, that's why if it's got to be a co-parenting situation, because it's more ideal for the father mother dynamic to be in the house full time. But if that can't happen, that's why you have to have fathers be more than weekend parents. That's why you
Mm,
need to have shared custody from a standpoint of 7 days here and 7 days there. Uh, Extended time in the summer if at all possible, and then for them to see the parents really flowing together from a standpoint
right,
of how they're being parented. And that is a better scenario than if the situation just can't be worked out in the same household. At least it could be done from a space of, because they're going to get the equal time with the father and the mother. There's no parental alienation. There is no talking about the other parent in a disparaging way. Then that helps to really allow the
right.
children to have some repair, and then
Mm-hmm.
also have an attachment that will make sense, even though they see divorced parents. At least what they see also is parents that were able to really figure it out and show them love, and then let them know this don't have to be you, because we're going to make
Right.
sure that your attachment style is going to be much better than ours, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree, and
Mm-hmm.
the situation that we have, I take the kids to school in the morning, he picks them up in the afternoon. We, half and half with taking them to practices and stuff. We both attend all games. We spend time, I don't have a problem with him. We talk to each other. I welcome him into my home, whenever to help with homework. He sees them almost every day. He's
Yeah.
very active because I have boys. So
Mm-hmm.
he's very active in their lives. And I do think it's really important, when you have boys, for their father to be around. So
Yeah. It's a
I
very
agree with
important.
that.
It's very
So,
important.
yeah, you
It's
have to
very
kind of
important.
you have to put aside your differences, and it has to be the focus is on the kid, period.
Right.
Yeah, and
Right.
it
And
gets
I
easier.
want to get Lisa in here, you guys. Lisa asked to speak a little minute ago. I'm so sorry. What? Okay, Dr. Patton, go ahead and top it off, and then Lisa can go after
Yeah,
you.
45 seconds. That's where what she just said, she modeled it from a standpoint of saying it's about the kids. It can only get murky when you got one other side of the parental tree that is chasing chaos still. So
Mm-hmm.
you have to have two healthy people to make that decision to keep certain things away
Mm-hmm.
from kids versus let me do me, and then we'll try to figure out the way to pencil in the kids. And if you have an unhealthy adult in that dynamic, it still threatens the attachment style of said kid, because you got one parent that's stable and then another one that's not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right, Lisa. Lisa, go ahead and jump in, mamas. I know you've been waiting. I'm sorry.
My anxious is a little anxious. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Like, goodness.
I'm sorry. I
Anxious
know. I'm like,
attachment here.
I
Just want to chime in.
listen.
Okay,
It,
so what's the question? Because it's
okay,
been
because
so
we
many.
kind of I don't yeah. So we were asking who should change first. I think that's where things where you kind of got left behind a little bit. Where who should change first? I know a lot of people said both. I think I seen you say both. Um And we were asking about anxious partners giving space. Is should they give space, and should avoidance give reassurance? A lot of people in the comments said both. Dr. Patton said, work on yourself. Um, and yeah, and then we can go into the next. So, what is it for you? Who should
I,
change first in the dynamic?
I think both are responsible for changing because there will always be a push and pull, but can the push and pull be balanced in terms of the anxious is always going to be seeking and chasing, and the avoidant is always going to be running? Can one slow down and walk? Can the anxious walk and
Mm-hmm.
the avoidant just slow down? So there's a minimum of gap between the two, and that aligns with the communication and the understanding and the boundary setting. Because for me, as an anxious, I identify with being a servant leader. I get fulfilled in taking care of people. And so that may be the subconscious piece of me that is always looking to mother, always looking to see the holes in others to where I can come in and fulfill those gaps to reassure them in that nurturing aspect. But for me, I'm also responsible in understanding that that's not the style of the avoidant,
Mm-hmm.
and that they may have a polar opposite idea of they're going to run from that because it's something subconsciously in them is saying that there's no security in that. So individually, there has to be awareness, and as I uncover becoming more secure and saying, okay, I can't continuously chase because that's the subconscious me programming, wanting to continue to keep the same cycle of, I may come across a lot of avoidance, but that doesn't mean that I don't identify,
Right.
with where I need to set the boundaries. Because I may attract all kinds, but I have
Mm-hmm.
to understand subconsciously, I don't chase what I'm trying to correct and what I'm trying to heal.
So I love the fact that you said earlier that you had your understanding that this is not the avoidance. Um, Somebody said I love the current speaker mindset. Yeah, me too, Andrew. Um, I love the fact that you said that you now or are aware that you cannot that you're avoiding this is not their style of how you what you give is not what they need from you. And I think that that's important in every relationship because even in let's say a secure people relationship, without all these attachments involved, right? That's still important. Not operating how you feel, but actually giving what your partner needs, if that makes sense. I love that you pointed that out, Lisa.
Yes, because I'll run circles around myself, feeling that my internal nurturing is saying, I need to mother. I'm scanning to find somebody to mother. But until I slow down and say, okay, I've got to be reparented. So even in my own therapy, my own childhood trauma therapy that I'm currently in, I'm understanding how to create that security within me. So
Come on.
I'm not looking to secure myself in someone
Right.
else when that is not what they're actually looking for or need. I'm trying to control what it is that I'm giving them so that I can secure myself through them. So I'm also, just rehashing that same wound subconsciously, rehashing it, even if in real time I didn't understand it, even in my marriage. But on the outside looking in now, I can see it coming. I can see it coming. I can see the behaviors starting to create as I'm getting out there in the dating world. I can see face value versus getting into situations to where the same pattern is replaying like a broken record.
And to be honest, y'all, I really hope that these conversations are helping somebody. I hope that y'all are picking up these gems from the speakers, from each other in the chat. I hope that you are receiving some form of healing, or understanding yourself. Um, yeah, because ultimately this may can change the outcome of what you've been receiving when in the dating field, or realm, or marriage or whatever. You can actually now self-reflect and say, hey, let me change some of this up, not just for the anxious attachment, but also for the avoidant. Okay. And I miss having Crimson here, because Crimson is avoidant, or identifies with avoidant. And he was, dropping some gems yesterday. And I would have loved to hear his take on it, although he's been kind of speaking on it all week. Let's go. Thank you so much, Lisa. Because it seems like to me, even just you being in here and you listening to everything, you're picking, they're dropping, they're putting it down, and you picking it right up. So, and it's helping me too, y'all. Because again, I'm an anxious, I everything that Lisa described about wanting to save somebody, wanting to, I gotta get in there and fix it. I gotta help them. Let me show them the love that they thought, they're not. Nobody wants to give them, or that trauma bonding. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I thought I had to do all of that, and I don't. I just have to be me, just like y'all just have to be y'all. That's it. Don't go in there trying to fix anybody. Let them be themselves, and you love them through it. That's it. That's all. Yeah, and it gets rid of a lot of the stress. Is this love or trauma bonding? Well, we just mentioned when does this dynamic becomes unhealthy? I personally think the emotional highs and lows makes the dynamic unhealthy. Anxiety, that distance loop, that cycle, that's unhealthy. Feeling addicted to the relationship, that's unhealthy. And having even a difficulty leaving, that's unhealthy. If you are not satisfied in your relationship, you got to do what you do. You got to make it do what it do. If you're not happy, leave. Be open about why you're leaving. Acknowledge why you're leaving. Okay. And it's not wrong to share it neither. Share it with the person why you're leaving. I'm leaving because X, Y, and Z. And that will hopefully help them look within inside themselves and say, you know what? I do that. But make sure it's in truth. Don't just be up leaving a person because you want to be free all willy nilly in these streets. Okay.
But can we be honest?
Yes.
That is usually the reason why avoidants want to leave the relationship in the first place. They're not leaving for anything noble. They're leaving, at least in my experience, I can speak for my situation. They're leaving because, as some of the therapists I've been following online, the grass is greener on the other side scenario is a real illusion for them. And
Mm-hmm.
uh, getting to that, like I said earlier, get back to that natural habitat of chaos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if that's what I'm used to, I'm not going to work on the, like Lisa was saying, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to work on the inner child wounds, because I can't, like, it's kind of like when Nicodemus, I'm sorry to bring my Bible in it, but it's like when Nicodemus met Jesus and Jesus told me he had to be born again. And Nicodemus confused with saying, well, I got to go back in my mama's womb and be born again. No, literally revisiting as she's explaining her childhood to get the explanation of the language of the broken little girl that became an adult. She's an adult, she's a woman, but those things that formed how she sees life happened in her childhood. And that's the space that those memories and those hurts, and even all of us, not just her, but all of us have to go back and reevaluate what that
Mm-hmm.
looks like. And then when we do that, it'll cause us to compartmentalize the responsibility of our personal development versus the people that we are attaching to and we're having relationships with. And so when we're able to do that, then we can decipher in between if this avoider is leaving for dumb reasons that have nothing, that's not real deal breakers, but they superimpose them and lie to themselves and then lie on me. And this is kind of even where narcissistic behavior comes in at, because now the
Ooh,
appearance,
you going into a room we ain't even touch on. Yeah.
yeah, You're now you got to create the narrative and the appearance that's false. And then when you are an anxious person that's really righteous, your attachment style may be flawed and faulty. That's okay. But from a standpoint of the commitment, which is a form of love, or even the trauma bond, uh, we try to look at trauma bonding a little negative, and I get that, but there is a space for trauma bonding when it's a can't help it, and it's a I
Mm-hmm.
understand your story. We just never got healed from it, and we have relatability based on the traumas that we've been through. That's a little different, but a bond is a bond, and when it's unhealthy, you know, when we don't know that it's unhealthy or we don't have the language to know it's unhealthy. I know in my situation, we had no clue. I didn't find this out until it's year 8 of me knowing this person and loving them and trying to get them out my system or go forward and let the process of letting go so I can find me. And so I can say, I love myself enough to say, I don't need that. I'm not responsible for what your mom and daddy them didn't give you no more than you are for me. But at the same time, if you're walking away to find quote unquote these greener pastures, you're running away to find a better feeling or more trauma bonds or more novelty and these other things, then you're leaving for unhealthy reasons. And that's okay. I should be able to then say to myself, this ain't on me. That's on that person. And that's the part
Mm-hmm.
as anxious because again, that go back to that savior complex that we talked about earlier. Because now we're more disappointed that we couldn't save them and it wasn't our job.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, I knew this was gonna be a little intense, and so I don't know. Each time I've checked in, I've seen heavy cues towards ancient styles. What do you mean by that, Crit? Each time you checked in, you've seen heavy cues towards ancient styles. Crap, are you able to come up right quick? I need to know what you mean by that. Um. Okay. Okay.
Talking about
You're low.
is oh, can you
You.
hear me?
It's like you're low. Like, yeah, you're
Oh,
pretty low.
can you hear me a little better now?
Yes, now I hear you
Okay.
better. Yeah.
So I do want to say that's more on the extreme end, what you're describing. It's usually like with your ordinary dismissive avoidant, you're not going to experience, that's not going to be your experience. What you're describing is more toward the spectrum of like narcissism, right?
Hmm.
That sounds more like what you're describing there, doctor. I think that um, in general, a dismissive avoidant isn't that far on the spectrum with things.
You talking that was for Dr. Patton?
Yes.
Dr.
yeah, and
Patton.
I figured that I was getting to that space because I kind of mentioned that. I said, well, hey, if that person is in a space where they're masking their actions and their feelings and the appearance is much more important to them, then that's probably more of a narcissistic thing. But it don't mean that, or at least help me. I'm not trained in this, so tell me if I'm wrong. Doesn't mean that a dismissive avoidant can't be a narcissist. Is that what you're saying?
No, no, that's not what I'm saying. Because
Okay, okay.
actually, yesterday, what we were talking about is that on the very far end of the spectrum, there is narcissism because dismissive avoidance fall into that. Like narcissists fall into a dismissive avoidant category, but and the very far end of the spectrum. And by no means, if you are a dismissive avoidant, that does not mean you're a narcissist.
Exactly. Exactly. Thank you for tapping me up to 50K. I appreciate you. Exactly. And that's what I had to make clear yesterday is that there's a clear difference between, avoidant and a narcissist. Like a narcissist can have avoidant tendencies, right? but it does not mean that the avoidant is a narcissist, if that makes sense. A narcissist, to be a narcissist, you have to have five narcissistic traits to be categorized as a narcissist. Um, Funky Free says, so I'm a dismissive avoidant. Are you? So let's keep going. Can this pair actually work? So I wanted to get to the hopeful turn of things because we've been kind of talking about this, and people want to know, can this dynamic work? Um, we've seen from Derek, we've heard from Derek how his wife is an avoidant. He's anxious attachment, right? Um, can anxious and avoidant relationships succeed? I believe so, through self-awareness. Self-awareness is very important. Communication skills, build the communication skills. That's very important. Emotional regulation. A lot of us have to learn how to regulate our own emotions. And I think all these are very important in any relationship, to be honest. And growth towards a secure attachment. So work towards that goal of a secure attachment. And a secure attachment, if nobody knows what a secure attachment is, a secure attachment usually feels safe, trusting others, communicate needs openly, handle conflict and balance in a balanced way, and they don't fear abandonment and intimacy. So that's where you should be working towards that goal, not staying stagnant in saying, "Oh, well, this is just me. This is just what I'm going to do. This is, I am who I am." Well, there's always room for growth. If I'm not mistaken, there are most prevalent pairings. I mean, this pairing right here is the most common. I think so. If both do the work, yeah, they can. If both do the work. So, with that being said, let's keep going.
I still think both doing the work is one thing, but I still think, and therapists help me because I don't want to sound like I'm the expert, and I'm not. I'm not trained. I'm a theologian and not a and not a trained therapist. But I still think it comes down to commitment in a person's that kind of drives a person's effort.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that somewhere in between the avoidant and the I guess the anxious attachment style, somewhere along the line, when the commitment fades, or quote unquote the feelings fade, so to speak, it's kind of where the relationship falls apart. Now, the unhealthy attachment style is one thing, but you can live unhealthily. People live overweight, people
Mm-hmm.
live in certain different spaces, and sometimes it's because of their commitment to at least try to do some exercise. They may join the gym and be good for 3 or 4 months and then fall off for another 9, right? But I think
Mm-hmm.
that not being able to, especially if you don't know. I'm just
Right.
learning about these attachment styles last year once my relationship kind of went to hell, right? And now that
Mm-hmm.
I know, it's like, okay, if this is going to work at some point in time, then we have to fix this through the lens of understanding how we attach and what's going on. And then the
Right.
commitment to actually say, I'm going to lose weight. Or to Derek's
Mm-hmm.
point earlier, that, hey, we put the boundaries in place and we work on ourselves, and then we work on ourselves collectively to securely attach healthily so that we can handle life's conflicts, life's ups and downs in relationship. Because I think the problem is with when we discuss these attachment styles, or when we discuss relationships in general, we discuss them through the lens of that we're never going to have any challenges and nobody's ever going to make each other mad and all these other different things, right? And that's just not the case
Right.
because we're avoidance and we have issues with attachment styles because I think the
Juju's
therapist said it
mama.
earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We don't communicate very well. And communication, not just about telling you how I feel, but even if I tell you how I feel, did I listen to you? And am I applying what I heard? Because again, coming back to my Bible, Jesus says, I liken you to be wise if you hear what I say and you do it. Because if you don't
Mm-hmm.
do it, you never really heard it. Catch that for
Mm-hmm.
just a second. Let that breathe for just a second. Because we can talk at each other all day
Thank
long.
you, Sam.
If we're still doing the same things that we told each other
Thank
about that
you.
hurts us or we don't like, and we don't change the behavior that really mutters the relationship and the communication, then I'm not listening. I'm saying
Mm.
it, but I'm not listening. And
Right,
so
right,
that's
right.
that's that's the challenge.
Yeah, right. Oh my God. Thank y'all. My family coming through. Thank y'all. I'm sorry. I heard you, Dr. Pat, and it catch me off guard. Thank y'all so much. Oh, I'm closer, getting closer to filling up my gift gallery. Thank you guys. I appreciate you, Zen and Natasha. Thank you for coming in, Juju's Mama. And Dr. Patton, you are so right. You are spot on. Oh, thank you. Oh. They gonna be like, why is she crying? No, that's happiness. Tears of happiness. Um, so awareness turns chaos. This is what awareness does. It turns chaos into choice. So you're not just in it just to, be in it. You are now making a choice that this is what I'm going to do. This is where we're at. This is my person. I accept them for who they are. I'm going to learn to be able to exist in this relationship. I'm going to do my best so they won't feel uncomfortable and vice versa. And I think that goes for both. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for the night star. But yeah, it's so each partner can feel comfortable. Avoidant helps the anxious attachment feel comfortable. Anxious helps the avoidant. Not work against each other. And I think that's why a lot of the relationships go downhill because that push and pull. When you think about it, when you pushing and pulling, it's you working against something, right? So to close this out, I appreciate everybody who stayed till the end, who gave some very, very good information. It's informative, y'all. I enjoyed this for real. Shy, thank you for giving your personal and professional opinions. Dr. Patton, thank you for giving. This has helped me too, Dr. Patton. It really has. Like, I'm really hoping that it made some people aware. We always push or pull on the same side. Yeah, pushed and pulled on the same side. So that therefore you're saying equally yoked, okay? It only takes one to have awareness. That one will force a change. I think it would take both to have awareness because not one person can force anybody to do anything. It's going to definitely take both. I think we touched on that earlier. Who should change? And everybody said both. Um, I had some extra training under. Okay, Craig. Zen said he hopes that everyone have a great day and have a wonderful weekend. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Thank you for sending the Go Populars. Thank you. Either you change or I leave. And they both got to change. So, all right, we're going to have the next live. We're going to be talking about the attachment style people understand the least. And for those who stayed all the way until the end, you're in for a treat. The fearful avoidant attachment style. Wanting love, but afraid of it. I'm sure a lot of people out there know somebody that really want love, but they're afraid of it. And it's hard for them. They can't help it. Much love, gotta go to work. That's why it's like, okay, all right. You know what I'm saying? Me, okay. All right. I know some people that, they see they getting too deep, they getting too in there, and they like, oh my gosh, I'm cringing because if I allow myself to go too deep into this and I'm hurt and I get hurt, I ain't gonna be able to survive this. Eyes wide shut, the veil has lifted. Okay. Can I give a testimony? Sure, Lisa, please give us testimony, my love.
Okay, so thank you so much.
Mhm.
I'm going to get off this live and I'm going to thank God for this opportunity to be able to just stand in the mirror and see myself for myself, my broken pieces, the pieces that I'm continuing to heal through, the opportunity just to have the awareness because that's where my internal power lies. I'm only in control of myself. And just through the grace of God's grace on my life to give me another opportunity to say that introspectively, I'm going to give myself the power to be able to go out in the world and not be fearful of love again, but to be more armed with the awareness and to be able to set boundaries that are more healthy for my life, to not take away the servant love that I have for myself, because that's a superpower for me, but to be
Mm-hmm.
able to go out into the world and understand how my power should be used, right? I don't want to take away the fact that I am a nurturer. That's just my temperament.
Hmm.
But the love that I do provide, it needs to have a set of boundaries that I am still protecting thyself, you
Right.
know? So being able to look in the mirror today after um, just receiving all of this information to say that I am powerful. You know, I am a pusher because I am looking to heal others. But the same way, let me start with me first and continue that journey with me, because people are brought into our lives to teach us something about ourselves. And what I'm learning in this dating world now is that there's still a lot of healing that needs to take place. So I need to slow down, continue to work on myself, and what is for me will be for me, but also receive the fact people will come into my life with not the best intentions or even the unknowing of themselves, and not to take it to heart and chase the
Mm-hmm.
nurturing, but nurture myself. So that's my testimony for today.
I'm so glad. I love it. I love it, girl. I felt like you was talking. I mean, I can relate with you. I love it because you actually are looking deep within and you're not allowing it to change who you are, right? And even though we've came across, and I'm speaking to us, anxious attachment people, although we have so much love to give, everybody is not, um, they don't have the capacity to withstand it. But don't change who you are. Your person will find you. You will find them. And there is a light at the end of this tunnel. Okay. And please stay tuned to the end of this series, you guys. And y'all gonna see the light. Okay. So Lisa, thank you for sharing your testimony. And I'm gonna go back and listen in on it in its entirety. Um, and if anybody wants a copy of these lives, I can download these lives. The only thing is TikTok will only let me do it in increments. Like I think it's like under a minute. So that's the only way that I can send it if it's under a minute, which means I gotta literally chop up the entire live. So if there is a way, if you feel comfortable enough, if there is a way for me to send it to you, maybe I can download it and maybe send it to an email or something like that. That's the only way that I can do it. I'm not giving out my telephone number, and I wouldn't expect y'all to give out y'all telephone number. um, but yeah, if you want a copy of the live, please DM me and DM me your email that you feel comfortable with giving to me, and I can download it and send it to you. Okay. Well, let me say this. I'm a try to, because I don't know if I actually can, but we gonna see. Wait, I see some comments. Okay, I'm definitely an anxious attachment. Me too, Rika. I am too. And there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's more so of how we control our anxiousness. We have to gain some self control. And create boundaries and respect boundaries, because I think that's one thing that us as ancient attachments we don't do, is that we have a hard time respecting boundaries. So, and I like to think that if I want my boundaries respected, I need to start respecting other people's boundaries. So sometimes it just takes us putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes, although we don't understand it. Okay. I don't think I care too much about the block button. Is wonder if I need, you know what, crap, you crap. I'll be having to laugh at crap because all yesterday he was talking about getting rid of people. You so nonchalant, like. And crap, y'all, he said that at one point in time he identified as a avoidant, and now he looks at himself as a more secure attachment style. I mean, about giving my number. I know. You just so funny. You so funny. I love
Mrs.
it. He's
Carroll,
yes.
I just have one more thought, and to tell me if you resonate with this.
Okay.
Uh, so many people that I come across tell me that I have a light and an energy about me. And especially my counterparts, the male, right? There's just this light, this energy that they want to capture, right?
Mhm.
And it feels like, okay, it that's great, but once you capture it, what do you do with it?
Exactly. And honestly, I do resonate with it because I've been told that from women, men, just alike. And I say, it's the God in me. You know what I mean? But um, on a serious note, it's true. They don't know what to do with it. You wanna know why? Because it's the ideal of you. They see that light. They want that light. They genuinely want it. But when they get close to the light, they get fearful. They get fearful too and turn around like, nah, I'm good. Because if I give myself to this person and this person hurt me, or this person all up in my space, I need some time over here by myself, like I enjoy my space. Yeah. So it's not you. And I think I said that
For you,
yesterday. They're not fearful of you, they're fearful of the pressure.
for
They
you,
don't
it's
run
gonna
from you,
be,
they run from the pressure. Hmm.
yeah, it's gonna be you like guarding your heart, guarding that. And I mean, you're going to attract people. You have a beautiful soul. Like I could just feel it from here, and we're
Yep.
just talking on TikTok. Um, but when you go out there, it's gonna be about the men that you're probably used to being attracted to and being okay with and comfortable with. Those are going to be the ones that you're not really, you're going to need to stay clear from. And the ones that feel uncomfortable and unfamiliar, you're going to have to deal with the discomfort there and the unfamiliarity, because those ones are probably going to be more secure. And you're going to have to try and figure out how to navigate what it's like to be around a man who's secure in who they are, that you don't have to chase, that can just show up and be present.
Yes, because they all start out the same way. But I think the analogy that I'm going to use, or I do use now, is that are you here to just pluck the flower and to hold on to it until it withers away? Or are you here to leave it in place that its beauty may just continue to grow and shine and you nurture and water it?
Listen, I
I
told you, writer. Oh my God. God was telling me the whole time that she was speaking, writer, writer, writer.
mm-hmm,
And I was like,
mm-hmm.
I guess I have to tell her, writer. But yes, so it's going to be about understanding that, some of these guys that come in with that love bombing and they come into like, and it feels good. It's going to be the guy that's a little bit more nonchalant. It's going to be the guy that's like, hey, let's meet up. And it's a little more laid back and he's not so aggressive with it. And that's going to feel weird. And you're going to think, is he actually interested? But you're going to have to like kind of stick around and try to regulate yourself and be okay with that, because you're going to feel like, is he interested? Does he actually like me? Because I'm used to guys like, wanting to take me out and, calling me constantly, texting me constantly. But that's not really healthy.
It's not. The love bombing thing is really real, and a lot of times when it happens like that, you got to think about it. Love bombing, we would love us anxious attachment. We would love for the love bombing to really mean that they're into us, right? But sometimes love bombing is a form of manipulation to pull you in very, very quickly. It draws you in quickly, and then once you're there, once it reaches that peak, it's like they can no longer keep up with it. So, and I know it sounds close to narcissistic tendencies, yes, but it's more like somebody said, how do you guard your heart? You guard your heart by not giving so much of yourself so soon. You start there, not saying go with the flow. You're being intentional, but you take things with a grain of salt, right? You hear it, you don't internalize it, you don't push it aside neither. You have to have some type of balance in your thought process and understand that just because a person is giving you attention does not mean that they like or love you. There's a difference, and that's going to be another episode for another day. um yeah, but you got this, girl. Just listen, how I had to tell my girls, just have fun. Have fun. We know we don't have to lay down with everybody, and no, we don't have to how can I put it? You don't have to give all of your time and attention to one person. Just have fun. Have fun. Get to know these people truly them, so you can decide, hey, this is for me, or I don't like that, or this, yeah, I want that. You know what I mean? Because when we go too fast, we crash out real quick. And
Operative
with
word is to have fun. That's
have
what I'm
fun.
taking today. Have fun, Lisa. Slow down.
Yeah,
Just breathe and have fun.
have fun. That's it. I told my girls that. They used to, I wonder if he really liked me. If he, and I used to think like that too. But I was putting too much energy into that, and it was tearing me up. I could not think. I could not sleep. I felt bad about myself. I started losing my confidence, all those things. But I also understood over some time, it has nothing to do with me. What they got going on has nothing to do with me. And once I shifted my mind to that place, what you do has nothing to do with me. How you feel about me has nothing to do with me. So, and that's how I treat everybody now, and it's working. Now I'm not so anxious
My
because I just don't care.
my therapist has taught me to walk outside of myself
Mhm.
and to take on a observer role. So more
Of looking from the
observation,
observation, right?
more
It
observation.
kind of like is it like putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, or you just like really trying to step outside yourself and see yourself from a different.
Yes, to step outside of myself, because when I get in that anxious mode, then I start ruminating, and then all of the patterns of now I need to control, because now I feel like I'm out of control of mothering and nurturing. So can I step outside of myself and say, okay, this is what you're doing, Lisa. Let's calm it down. Let's observe, instead of saying,
Yeah.
oh, this, instead of internalizing it, saying this is what's happening. Now you can take control back, and now you can
Right.
understand how to navigate things as an observer versus
Hmm.
internalizing it and getting swept up in the whirlwind of anxiety.
Right. Exactly.
I
That's
love that you brought up control because that is one of the core wounds. You feel like you're out of control as an anxious person. So when you were younger, you felt like you were out of control of circumstances. So when you go
mm,
back, you want to have control. And it's all about how can you control what's going on? And when you feel like you don't have that control, you don't know what they're doing, you don't know. And I know it sounds bad when you put it that way, but that's the truth. So you want to have control, and you have to be able to step out and relinquish that control. And I like to use the word relinquish because that's like freeing. Like, free
Mm-hmm.
yourself from that. You don't have to do that. Why are you doing that?
Mm-hmm.
No
And
micromanaging. Let it go.
mm-hmm. No micromanaging. And it's not about having control. It's not about having control over them. If you're going to have control over you. Self-control. That's what you can control. So I think you said it earlier, Lisa B. You said that you started pouring more into yourself. So the same what you was pouring into somebody else, you then started pouring it into you. And I love that for you because I had to do the same thing. I wanted to mother and take care of and nurture and all of that. Guess what? I started giving myself all that. I started giving me all that. Skin got better, hair grew. I feel more confident. I'm happier. You know what I'm saying? And I started falling in love with myself. It's me working on me. I'm following you, Shy. I'm thinking there's a bit to learn from you. Shy. I told Shy a long time ago I wanted to see more content from her. And hopefully she will have the time to do so. You remember when I think I put on one of your posts?
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to get there. My brother and I want to do some stuff. He's a social worker in Phoenix, Arizona, and he's also a music artist. Hilarious. So we want to do some stuff. We're pretty opposite, but I think it'll be good when we start. But for now, yeah, I could make some stuff. I could.
Please talk about it. You have so much to say. Um, you have so much to give. And I would definitely love to see more content from you because you being on the panel showed me that like it's people out there that need to hear your voice and need to hear what you have to say. Definitely. So don't no longer be quiet.
Thank you
You
so
have a
much.
platform.
Appreciate
You
that.
have yes. We need more truth speakers. Yep, we definitely do because we got a lot of mess going on this platform. I'm sorry, there's so much mess going on this platform. It's very balanced and objective observations.
I
So
definitely followed you, Shy. Definitely.
so they looking for more stuff from you, girl. Get on it. I followed you too. I'm still waiting. I'm just saying. Um, so with that being said, everything that we talked about, I enjoyed all of you. Thank you, Manisha, for the follow. Big up to you. Shouts out. Okay, she says she got us. All right, we waiting. And the anxious and avoidant isn't doomed. The anxious and avoidant isn't doomed, but requires growth on both sides. That's the end all be all. It's not, and we said it time and time. I think we repeated that about 15 million times in this one live. Is that growth from both sides? Okay, not trying to impose. Okay, you can still be who you are, but you don't have to impose it on anyone in a way that it can be harmful. Um, so, Manisha, oh, you're welcome. This talk was very good. Thank you to all the 18 people that are still in the room. I big up to you. Shouts out to you. Thank you for all the love, the support, the live elevation. Blessings to you all. Thank you. Best decision I ever made was to pour back into me. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I needed it this morning because I woke up being anxious and had to stop being in my head. Yes, come on. Like the idle mind is the devil's workshop. Okay. So when you start to get that idle thinking going on, that stinking thinking, go drink some water. Go take a walk. Go get your nails done. Go do something for yourself. Go read a book. Whatever it is that you enjoy doing, go wash your car. I don't know. Just do something. Okay. And it's okay to talk to a friend, a trusted friend, somebody you trust, somebody that's not biased, somebody that's not going to be harmful or take advantage of you. Okay. And therapy is a godsend. I thank God for putting people in place to be able to take on so many things. Therapists have therapists too, by the way. And I thank God for giving people the capacity to take in what we give out so they can help us, because we understand that we don't have everybody. We can't tell everybody our business, first of all, but a therapist, you can definitely talk to them without incriminating yourself. I'm just saying. I'm putting it up there too. I love you all. Thank you, ladies. Shy and Lisa. Thank you so much. All right. So I'm going to let you guys off the panel. Y'all have a blessed day. Everybody have a blessed day. Do not let anybody ruin your day at all. It's Friday. Happy Friday. Thank you for the heart me. Thank you, Tsunami, for coming in. You came in at the last minute. You missed the live. Again, tomorrow. What did I say we was talking about tomorrow? Oh, we're talking about the fearful avoidant. We're going to get into it. So if you want to know more about the fearful avoidant and how this ties into our our series, stay tuned for tomorrow. I'm going to try to be on time, y'all. It's so hard. And I'm off on Saturday. Thank God. I'm off on Saturday. No, I'm off on Sunday. Anyway, live tomorrow morning. Listen, yesterday y'all asked me what time, and I didn't get here until 9:30, and I told y'all 8 o'clock. I'm so sorry. I did not want to lie to you all. It was not in my intentions. Will the panel have more avoidance? Please, if possible. I will try. I don't know too many avoidance. I mean, Crimson wasn't here today. Crimson that was here yesterday. But a they them, if you want to come up to the panel, come up, tell your story. Ow, taking a band-aid off. Come up, tell your story. Let's talk about it. Okay, it's a safe place, for real. Man, I still had 3 days left of supervision stuff. Okay, I'm a fearful avoidant. Okay, Shy is a fearful avoidant. All right, she was once Shy was once anxious, but now she's a fearful avoidant. So yeah, so she knows both sides of the spectrum, let's just say that. But it was heavy. We had a lot of I'm too shy, maybe in the future. Okay. Well, you ain't on camera, but if you too shy to speak, hey, I'm just letting you know the panel's open to you. A seat is open to you, my dear. All right. Somebody want me to co-host. I don't really do the co-hosting thing. Um, unless it's something useful. All right. So yes, grateful to you all. You have a blessed day. I'm gonna go chill out for a little bit before I gotta be to work. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I will try my best. Why is this person still trying to? I will try my best at 8:30. 8:30. Okay. I'm gonna tell my husband to wake me up. You all stay safe. Yes, be blessed. And take care.